Welcome back to Real Business Roundtable. Wait, no.
It feels so weird doing it from here.
I know.
I'm so used to our like comfy table with the seats.
Welcome back to Real Business Roundtable. It's so weird doing it here. We're in sunny Florida. What is the tagline for Florida?
All I know is sunshine and oranges. The Sunshine State.
The Sunshine State.
Yeah,
We're in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Sunshine State. I think I can confidently say that Fort Lauderdale is bad luck.
We had the most insane. If it was like the whole day was just bad luck, possessed, whatever you want to call it. It was a very, very bad experience from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m.
24 hours of traveling yesterday.
24 hours exactly.
It was
pure insanity. Pure insanity. So we're gonna just start off from the top. So
let's just kind of run through the day and listen. I just want to preface this conversation that we're not blaming any company. Are we?
We're not gonna name the.
We're not gonna name names. We're not gonna blame any companies. But we're just gonna share our experience because. Honestly, I will remember that day for the rest of my life. I have traveled often with my family, by myself. I have never had a situation like this happen. I've never dealt with a situation like this. It was. I don't even know how to explain it, honestly.
So let's get right into it. So we're selling licenses for technology, breakthrough technology. I'm not going to get into a sales pitch about it, but the demand is growing rapidly because it's 100% exclusive. It does some amazing things for your paid ads. And we are working with a handful of people that are using it, and they're seeing insane results and words getting around. Well, because of that increased demand, now we have to go elsewhere. So we were advised, go down to Florida. That's a big market. So we set up a business trip to go to Florida.
Yep.
And the tickets were...
I don't even know how much they were. They were expensive.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the cost of the ticket. I meant the flight. The flight was super early, so we had to get there. We had to get there at a certain time. So basically, I had to get up at 3 a.m. Oh, boy. 3 a.m. No big deal. I've done it before. But then everything just... We were driving to the airport, and I missed an exit.
The first thing that happened.
It
was like a butterfly effect.
The first crazy thing that happened was me missing the exit.
Yeah.
But the whole thing happened because people were saying, hey, be careful of the Sumner Tunnel in Boston. Be careful of the Sumner Tunnel. Sumner Tunnel.
Yeah. There was construction going on, so the way to normally go to the airport was closed, apparently.
Yeah,
so.
And we head to Logan Airport, and we avoided Sumner Tunnel, and then I take responsibility for this. I goofed up.
There's no blame at all.
So it added another 25 minutes to our commute because it took us all around Boston back again. So we are holy shit, we got to get there. We got to get there 30 minutes prior or they're going to whatever. So we get there, okay? Yeah. We park the car, we go down, we get our luggage, and we're at the kiosks trying to check in.
And the kiosks just weren't working. So when you're checking into an airport, you used to go up to a table, you would give them your bags, they would give you your boarding passes, whatever. But now there's kiosks, and normally the kiosks are working fine. I just want to mention, so our flight was really early, like you said.
Yeah.
We were expecting the airport to be dead.
It was a madhouse.
It was a madhouse. There was so many people packed. The lines were each taking an hour. So we get to a kiosk, doesn't work. Apparently, we're late for the flight. Somewhere on my app, through this airline, it said that it boards at a certain time. But for some reason, the time was earlier than what it originally said. So when we went to check in with the kiosk, it was oh, you're too late. So we were oh my God, we missed our flight. I've never missed a flight. So we were what's going on? We talked to people. We were directed into 4 different lines, and then the flight was delayed.
So we were okay, that's a blessing.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Holy crap. So that's a good thing that it was delayed.
Yeah.
So now, because we're late to the airport, now If it's delayed an hour, 2 hours, we're in the 30-minute window limit to check in. So, hey, let us check in. We were ushered over to, well, first when we thought we missed our flight, we were ushered over to this huge line of hundreds of people.
There's a kiosk assistant or something like that,
to change our flight. And then when we saw the time change, we asked one of the helpers, which there were barely any around, and I said, hey, the flight got moved. What do we do now? Oh, yeah. Check your bags. No, wait, let me back up. We were in that line, and then they go, oh, no, go to that line. That line over there is shorter. So we go there, and it's for a completely different division of the airline. And then when we're in that line, then another manager or supervisor comes over and is like auditing everyone. Hey, why are you in this line?
Yeah.
Why are you in this line? And we were basically kicked out, told to go back to the line. So now we're in the back of the line that we were originally in. And it just got crazy. And then we saw on the app, it kept the delay kept happening. It kept delaying. Adding to the delay.
So, in our minds, we're like, okay, crazy. It's not a bad thing that it keeps getting delayed. There's too many people here. We have time to catch our flight, which is good. That's a good thing. But, it sucks for the people that got there on time. But also, cherry on top, we were in the lines. Me and Andy were in two different lines because I didn't want to lose a spot in case we had to be in a certain line. So then Andy comes up to me and he goes, dude, I forgot my phone in the car. And I'm like, okay, I'm still waiting in this line. My line is shorter. Go get your phone, come back, and then whatever, we'll figure it out. So he goes, he leaves.
It was like the drip effect of bad luck,
Yeah.
bad luck. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I forgot my phone. Can't get out, can't check in. And then I got my phone. You were in that special line.
Yeah, so we were in I don't even know what line it was, but it was a line to essentially pay for. So
to check in your luggage.
To go back, we at the kiosk, we paid for our luggage through the kiosk, so the luggage was good. The bags were checked, whatever you want to call it. And so we went into that line, and I asked the guy. I said, "Listen, this is the situation. Can you print our boarding passes?" And he said, "Yes, you're fine. Wait in this line. We're good. We can take care of it." I was like, okay, awesome. I'm standing there with two bags. Took a little bit of time, but finally he gave us our boarding passes and they gave us, we went through security and
TSA. But this is where things get, like, basically the party hasn't even started yet. It gets crazier.
That's just the beginning.
And crazier. So we get into the area where people wait to board the plane. We sit down and we notice some commotion going on.
It was not normal. There was
some commotion going on with the attendants that basically check your ID and let you on the plane. And a lot of back and forth, people going up to the desk. We saw the delayed time keep going up and up and up. We're like, what's going on? And then this guy jumps on the microphone. He's like, hey, if I say your name, please board the plane. So I'm like, okay, well, this is weird. Okay. And he was like, Julio Gonzalez, John Smith. He was saying all these names.
A bunch of random.
Yeah. He was just like announcing all these names and like, Randy McGillicuddy. And we're just sitting there and I'm waiting for my name. And I just hear, Sue Smith. And I'm thinking, okay, let me go up there. So I go up there and I go, what's going on? Why are you announcing these names? Why can't you just let people on? He's like, well, there was a goof up. And this is where things get really strange.
Yeah.
The plane was sitting there. You can see the plane. And we're just like, why are we getting on the plane? What's going on? There was a lot of commotion. So allegedly, what they said, which was everything was very cryptic. Everything was very cryptic.
You know it better than I do.
They wouldn't tell us what was going on, and they said, "Oh, we mixed a flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico, to Florida, and maybe I'm guessing they accidentally double booked seats or
something like that.
Something so." Hours are going by. Literally, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. They were giving out drinks because we were waiting so long. So then we finally...
we were waiting in that line.
And then we said, screw this. They're not going to call our name. Yeah. We need to proactively go up and say, can I please board the plane? So we did that. He looked on the computer. I think they didn't want to basically alarm everybody and then they get rushed by everybody. So some of the smart people got up and were waiting in line. So when I saw that, I go, hey, we should get in line. Screw this. So we talk to the person, yada, yada, yada. We finally get on the plane and it hasn't even started yet. So we get on the plane.
We get on the plane and then it's just, I like
just
blanked
craziness.
out this part. It was craziness. I mean, people were sleeping like on there was 3 and 3. People were sleeping in like laying across the seats, and we sat down. What happened after that? I don't even remember. There's so much stuff after. It was
we sat down, and
I think that was the smoothest part.
We didn't know, but then we wouldn't take. They didn't take off forever.
Yeah,
we're sitting there, and people were like, "When
and they
take off?"
They kept coming up with these like weird excuses, like, and I felt bad for the stewardesses too because
everybody
people
was
were yelling.
Them.
They were mad, and they didn't have anything to do with it. Whatever. I felt bad, but it is what it is. So we take off. Oh, no, we don't.
We didn't take off. We were idling for hours. Just sitting there burning gas. And then the what's it called? Captain Crunch gets on the microphone. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, just want to let you know we need to refuel because we've been idling for 17 hours. We're going to have to refuel. Just hang tight and we'll head to Florida in another 6 hours. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, so they had to refuel, but they didn't say they had to refuel.
Yes, he did.
They said they had to get more gas to make the plane heavier. Remember that?
No, they said to make the plane heavier, but it made no sense. It was because it was idling, they burned a bunch of gas. So I think
they kept saying a weird reason.
I think that they were very careful to not make people freak out. So they were being very, very crafty with their language. And I'm like, make the plane heavier? That's like goes against the law of physics. Like if a race car is light with a lot of horsepower going to the wheels, that tells me the car's going to perform at its highest level.
It's also completely different.
Why would you want to make it heavy? Doesn't make any sense. He just needed refuel because they were idling for hours.
There must be some sort of, I don't know. Dude. I'm not sure, but they refueled the plane. We took off. And by the way, this plane was the oldest plane I've ever been on. We got nice seats, and this was the oldest plane.
If you were to compare airplanes to the internet, this was dial-up modem.
It was old. It was very, very old.
This was like, AOL.
Like it was creaking. It was just weird. I was fine. I put in my headphones. I had the noise canceling on. Put a show on. I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna whatever. But we took off. Everything's good. We're in the air. We're like,
we're finally in the air.
All right, cool. We're gonna land. Every reservation that we had, I texted a bunch of people. I was like, listen, we're gonna be a little bit late. Everyone understood. Everything was fine. And then, about 2.5, 3 hours into the flight, the pilot comes onto the intercom.
We were supposed to land in 3 hours. That was supposed to be our landing time.
Yeah, we were supposed to land at a certain area. And there's something came over the intercom. And what did he say? He said like because of storms, we have to land somewhere else.
But what happened was I started to feel like, when you spin around, you get dizzy.
Yeah.
I started to feel a little bit queasy. And I'm not someone that gets I don't get sick on airplanes. And I'm like, what's going on? My stomach's feeling weird. And I'm like, is this dude going in circles?
You could feel the plane was like this.
Why is he going in circles? And somebody did a check on the actual airplane.
Yeah.
The record of the airplane in the air. You could see
spun around.
Him looping.
Yeah.
So he's going in circles. He's like, well, because there's a storm, and this was after 3 hours. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to land in a completely different part of Florida.
About an hour and a half drive away from where we were originally going to be landing.
So where everyone's like, what the people were pissed. People had places to go. So it's like you're bringing us in a completely different area. And then we were just kind of thinking, we're like, people land planes in rainstorms all the time.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
The plane
It was very
making
weird.
a very strange noise, like it was struggling with something, possibly landing gear.
You could hear it under the plane. It's
Yeah.
like it was weird.
You
It was
heard
very
some
weird.
weird noises. I think they didn't want to make people lose their minds
Which
on the plane.
I understand.
I get it. You're trying to keep a safe environment for everybody, but things weren't adding up. They were not adding up.
Yeah, so we landed this other airport, and we're
An hour away,
and we're thinking that finally we landed, but so they gave us the option. So they were saying, so we were sitting there for a little bit, and we were all kind of wondering like, what's going on? We landed. We thought we were just gonna get the luggage and take a ride, whatever.
So we land. He didn't pull up to anything because obviously this is a plane that they didn't expect.
We were like sitting in like a storage area for all the planes.
Sitting in a storage area for hours.
Are we going to get off on the tarmac?
Waiting. People are getting antsy. And so we're thinking we're going to get off here. We're getting our luggage and we're just going to take an Uber back to where we're supposed to be. Not exactly.
Nope.
So
then we got the option.
Yeah, the guy gets it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to actually have to ask everybody to sit back down. We're going to go to the original destination.
Everyone goes, what?
Everyone's freaking out.
Everyone's yelling, that. And people are cursing a storm. A Spanish lady walked by me. She was like, puta madre. She was like, everybody's going crazy. Yeah. And it was just, the tension was really high in the plane. I'm like, man, I hope no one, like, there's no fight. No one freaks out. Like, let's just get off this plane peacefully. And so we're like, okay, we're going to go back. What are we doing? And then some people demanded to get off.
Yeah. Yes.
So I raised my hand. I said, "Yeah, I'm one of them." I said, we'll just deal with getting the luggage. We'll get the luggage in the original destination if they're going to fly back.
They pretty much said like, okay, we're going to take off and we're going to go back to the original destination. But if you'd like to get off here, you can get off here and pick up your luggage in the original destination. So we're thinking, all right, you know what? We'll take an hour drive. We don't have any luggage.
I need to move my legs.
Whatever.
I needed to move my legs.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about... Yeah, no, I needed to get up. All day was just... At this time, it was probably around 1 o'clock. I can look back at my text, but it was around 1 o'clock. So now, at this point, it's 3 to 1 o'clock. We thought we were landing at 9:30.
In the morning.
So we met this woman that was sitting next to me.
I wouldn't drop names, but we met someone kind of famous on TV. I didn't even, I didn't recognize her. I didn't really watch the channel at the TV show that she's on, but she was really helpful and she
ordered a car and she
let us piggyback on a ride because she's like, oh, I'm going to the same place. And we were like, okay, great. And, we got off and then we
got into the lift expecting that the plane was going to go to the original destination without us where we can pick up the luggage. So we go to the original airport and we're like, okay, where's the luggage? I'm checking on my phone.
They actually said the plane did not leave yet.
The plane has not left yet.
If people watching try to understand this, the plane landed, we got off, and like 5 hours later or whatever it was, actually said to us, oh, that plane didn't leave to the original destination yet. So all of those people were forced to sit there for hours. Now, I don't know what happened, but we ended up getting our luggage
at 1:30.
At 1:30 in the morning, and we weren't situated and actually ready to go to bed at 3 a.m. So from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m., 24 hours of absolute insanity. And there was other little weird things that happened. I know it carries over to the next day, but we rented a Tesla.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
And then we get a flat tire.
Yep.
Then right now it's at the shop. We got meetings to run. That's why we had time to do this podcast, to do the Just Chatting. But I said, hey, let's make the most of our time.
Yeah.
We had a great meeting this morning on the phone.
Yeah. We had good meetings. We
had the Tesla working yesterday. We were running meetings. But
driving last night, hit a pothole.
Yeah.
Got a flat. It sucked. But got to make the most of the situation. Everyone's good. Could have been a lot worse. Everything's fine with the car. And we're gonna continue on the rest of this trip, but So after we got off the plane in the other location, we went to the original airport and we were looking for the luggage and they said it's not taken off. You know, you can track it here. So I was tracking the flight and then we went and we checked into the hotel. You know, we're at the hotel, we're hanging out, we're looking at the flights. It keeps getting delayed. It's just sitting there. It's not moving. It's just sitting there. And so we're thinking like, there must have been something wrong with the plane. How did it just not take off? So then
there was just so much things. I have this ability where I can sense if something's not right. Something wasn't right. Something was just, I could see the pilots' faces. And what do we do? What do I do for a living? I read people for a living. I do sales, business development. I can sense like, I was like, his face looks a little off. Like something's really troubling him. And the other pilot looked a little troubled. And I'm like, what?
And one of the stewardesses seemed very...
oh, yeah. So all the bathrooms in the front of the plane were taken. And I said, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. So I went to the back of the plane, and one of the assistants, or
stewardesses. I'm not sure.
She's sitting there with her legs crossed, just like doing this, kind of bouncing her leg. And she's just like really pissed off. Like you could just tell, and she was really upset. And once someone came up to her and was like, hey, like what's going to happen to my luggage, this and that. And she goes, listen, it's been a long day. Like, I don't know. Like she was at her limit.
Yeah. No one really knew what to say, what to do. It was very up in the air. It seemed very uncoordinated. And, you know, it sucks because like I've flown this airline. I only usually fly this airline. I fly other airlines occasionally, but I've never had an experience like this. They're supposedly like a high-end airline, right? I mean, so it's unfortunate. It was a day lost, and you know, we're not here to complain. We're here to just share it because honestly, like that day was just insanity. It was wild. It really was. But we made it. We're good. Let's hope the rest of this trip is as smooth as it can be, because like I know,
yeah, I want to make some traction, which we've gotten some bites when we're out here, but we're really out here because of the demand in the automotive industry. We literally, if something happens, that like literally New England's closed, so we had to move elsewhere. And here's the thing, for people watching, there was other little things that happened that went wrong that I just can't remember. It was like one thing went wrong, another thing went wrong.
But the whole time we kept our cool. We were just kind of going with the flow, figuring it out, and it, like I said before, it worked out in the end. We're here. We're getting shit done.
He got some fresh sneakers.
I just had to. Yeah, I forgot my shoes, so I got some Air Force Ones. We went to a big mall up north.
Yeah, there's this huge mall. It's like a city. I've never seen a mall. I know they got the Mall of America.
No, down south. It was far.
But there was a humongous mall that was, I couldn't believe how big it was.
It was beautiful.
It was like a city. Like you're walking and
Especially,
walking and walking.
Yeah, and going to the mall was kind of nice because we were just like, we were sitting in a plane for so long.
Yeah, I wanted to move my legs.
To just like move my legs around. But yeah, that's going to close out today's episode of Real Business Roundtable. 24 hours. 24 hours of insanity is what we call it, right? Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you get notified every time we post a new episode. Also, check us out on Instagram where you can find clips, updates, and more. Peace out. We'll catch you next time.
We out.